Don't get blinded by the light from fame. We're all ordinary people at the end of the day. We make decisions, some good, some bad, but we all pushing for things we never had.
Ordinary people with extraordinary ways.
Yeah.
Everyday people trying to make a way.
It's just us.
Ordinary people with extraordinary ways.
Yeah.
Trying to make a difference step by step each day. It's just us.
Hi, I'm Charlene Bowden. Welcome to It's Just Us. My guest today was introduced to me by a mutual friend who said, hey, I've met this lady. She's passionate about youth. Might want to talk to her. I said, okay, well, you know, it's about youth. I'm all into, you know, working with and teaching our young people whatever it is we want to teach them in the moment. So I contacted her, and we've had some great conversations. But let me say that he totally did not do the introduction justice. This woman has a passion for empowering and enlightening our youth, primarily our teenage girls, but we can't do that without enlightening our boys. Joining me today is Miss Donna Turner. Donna is a community health specialist. She has written 2 ebooks, Teen Girls and Sex, Why Wait? The Female Adolescent Guide to Sex and Dating. Please welcome Miss Donna Turner to the show. Welcome to It's Just Us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, absolutely. So I wanted to make sure that I did not fumble over your correct title. So please give us all your accolades. Yeah.
I'm a Master of Public Health and a Certified Health Education Specialist.
Yes, thank you so much. So you know, when I first read your information, I must admit I chuckled a little bit. Ew, boys have cooties. That was the first thing that jumped out at me, and it took me back to when I was in elementary school, and we did say that boys had cooties, but you've taken such a humorous line and it's made this part of your mission. Why is it your mission to share this information?
Well, firstly, because thousands of girls, young women actually, die every year because they contract HPV, which most don't know actually comes from males. Males are the carriers and they are the vectors, and every time a girl has sex with a male, she picks up HPV from the very first time, and it doesn't matter what kind of sex she has. It's any kind of sex.
Was this something that you were having conversations with people and that's what you were hearing a lot of? I know it was part of your research as well, but where did this drive and to just really get in here and then to share the information with the masses?
Actually, you know, it's something I wondered about. I'm just one of those weird people, you know. I get a little something in my head and I just, you know, I just have to research it. That's something I wondered about for years. I just kept thinking it must come from somewhere. Where does it come from? And all the information I kept hearing was very ambiguous, as if men and women give it to one another. But I kept digging and digging and digging, and the short story is I found a few different reports written by the CDC, the National Institutes of Health, that actually come right out and say that males are the carriers and they are the vectors.
Wow, wow. So let's talk about the book a little bit more.
Okay.
You're a mother with 2 daughters.
Right.
How did you feel when you were writing this book and putting this information?
Actually, as my daughters told me, the information in the book is exactly what I used to tell them when they were growing up. I didn't know that as I was writing it. The difference is that I now have all of this research to back up what I was telling them. So yeah, I am pretty proud of that. What I'm hoping is that moms, especially single moms, it's not so difficult when there's a father in the home, especially a good one, you know, who can actually teach and guide his daughter. This book was actually written so that young girls who don't have that positive male role model can get the kind of information that'll help them make better choices.
Yeah, absolutely. Teen Girls and Sex, Why Wait? Miss Donna Turner, Charlene Bowden, It's Just Us. Be back in just a moment.
The bottom line is we can't avoid getting HPV. I mean, unless we're going to remain virgins for the rest of our lives, nobody's going to do that. But we don't have to do that. We can just wait until our bodies are mature enough.
Look at me, hey. Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Welcome back. Thanks for coming back with us. I am with Miss Donna Rene Turner. We're discussing her ebooks, Teen Girls and Sex, Why Wait? Donna, you've done a lot of research and a lot of digging, and like you said, out of curiosity for the most part. How has this information impacted you?
Well, first I felt vindicated. It may sound strange, but I did. I kind of felt vindicated to finally find reliable information that substantiated my suspicions, for lack of a better word. And I just want everybody to know. And it's not like someone said to me, oh, you're male bashing. No, it's not about male bashing. It's about understanding where this comes from and what we all need to do then to protect ourselves. The bottom line is we can't avoid getting HPV. I mean, unless we're going to remain virgins for the rest of our lives, nobody's going to do that. But we don't have to do that. We can just wait until our bodies are mature enough. According to the CDC, those women that are at the highest risk of getting cervical cancer are those who begin having sex too young in life. So they just need to wait until their immune systems are strong enough.
And what's too young? What's that age range? I mean, not speaking as a mother, of course, but just scientifically speaking, what's the range?
I don't want anybody shooting the messenger. I'm going to say,
put in the scientific.
Well, actually, according to the CDC, if you're under 25, you're at the highest risk.
Okay. Right. Okay. I see why you put that disclaimer out. It's like, not the messenger. But how do you want us as readers to feel about this information?
Just to be armed, you know, just to know what you're getting yourself into. I mean, like my brother said something to the effect of, well, it's not an epidemic. No, it's not an epidemic, but 12 to 13,000 women get diagnosed with cervical cancer every year, and about 4,100 of them die from it every year. That's just here in the United States. Now, when you consider that there are over 350 million people in the United States, and you know, a good half of those are females, that doesn't sound like a large number, unless, of course, you happen to be one of those numbers. So it would be better to just know. And as far as the vaccine, for example, is concerned, there's a lot of controversy about the vaccines. They don't really appear to be working. Girls have actually lost their lives, and some who haven't lost their lives have just been severely damaged by it. But if you know that all you have to do is just hold on a little while, just wait just a little while, why would you risk taking an unnecessary vaccine? You don't know what it's going to do to you. Sure, I mean, you may have sex before you're 25, and it doesn't mean you're going to get cervical cancer. It does not mean that. There are approximately 100 different strains of HPV. Only 13 or so of them are known to cause cancer. So you're just playing Russian roulette, that's all.
Yeah. Message for the men in this. I know you mentioned earlier on that someone said, is it just male bashing? What is the message for the men?
I think the men should know what they're doing to the women. I mean, we know that like at least 99% of the men are really good men, right? And when they find that one woman that they're looking for, I mean, they can be just fantastic, but they are more often than not aware of the damage that they leave in their wake. Not just the emotional damage that they're doing to the women that they've gone through on their, en route to the one, but also now the physical damage. Because I often wonder, since finding out all of this, I often wonder how many men actually set up women for cervical cancer, and they don't know it.
Wow, that's interesting. We're going to talk about that some more in a few minutes.
Okay.
It's Just Us, Charlene Bowden, Donna Rene Turner. We'll be right back.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout,
Tip me over and pour me The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Thanks for coming back with us. Donna, you mentioned just a lot of information here. It's a lot of information. And we were touching briefly on the relationship part that you do address in your books as well. Pulling all of these pieces together, how would you advise a parent to present this to their children? Well, that depends on their age. Again, you know, if they have younger children, I say between 8 and 13 or so, I would advise them to read the information and again, present it as age appropriate. If they have children that are between the ages of say 14 to 16, and they can read it on their own or read it together with their parents and then have a discussion. And I also think it's important to not just tell them once. You don't teach someone something, especially something as significant as this, by just telling them one time. This is a conversation that needs to be had again and again and again. And to also get the feedback and the input from the child and how it's impacting them, what they're feeling. And could it possibly even include like the primary care physician conversations with counselors, or? Well, it could. Yeah, of course, I don't cover that in the ebooks that I wrote, but sure, of course, it could. In fact, it could also cover the fact that you don't even have to worry so much about doctors and gynecologists if you just wait. Okay. Just wait a little while. Well, you can worry about them, but for different reasons, maybe. With that disclaimer out there. But you do talk about. You mentioned quickly the mind, the emotional part of this conversation as well, and just wondering within yourself if some men, and this again is not bashing, may be intentional in some of the things that they do around convincing, coercing, encouraging, motivating, whatever the word is, women to engage too early. Well, I think they do it, one, out of ignorance, and two, out of their own personal need. And we don't think about the difference. I mean, we've been socialized these days to believe that men and women need sex equally. It doesn't even make biological sense. Men make sperm all the time, and depending on the male, they need to release that sperm. It can be a few times a week, or it can be a few times a day. Women release an egg once a month, and that egg stays in place waiting to be fertilized 3 to 5 days out of the month. That's the time that she will naturally crave sex if she's of that age. That's a big difference, you know, a few days out of the month to a few times a day. It's a vast difference. So I think that they just don't understand, and they think that women do need it or crave it every bit as much as they do. Need to keep these conversations going. Please share your online website information. virtualvillagemom.com. virtualvillagemom.com. Right. Miss Donna Rene Turner, please make sure that you include the Rene when you're doing your search of Donna's information. And you can contact us at itsjustustalkshow@gmail.com. If you have guest ideas or show considerations, please email us, and please visit our website at itsjustustalkshow.com. Our email address, I apologize, is itsjustustalkshow@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Reach out to us, join us on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel on YouTube. I want to thank you again so much for being here. I have enjoyed the conversation. Keep it going. And all the best to you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. I'm Charlene Bowden. It's Just Us. Until next time, I hope you will continue to happen to life. Take good care.